Hey, I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. We're recording this live right now, and I'm going to do a quick startup of this very beautiful H-160 Airbus helicopter. And I'm going to see if I can find the manual for this thing. So the first thing I want to do here is check out the avionics, see if I can turn the batteries on here, because without the batteries, we are absolutely nothing. Where are my batteries? I think they're right here. Battery 1 and battery 2. So battery 1, battery 2. Things are floating around here. Stop floating around. There we go. Got the batteries are on. Let's just wait till this helicopter kind of does its electronic avionics boot up. And there we go. All kinds of red stuff happening for the boot up. So I'm going to open up the tablet right now. And I'm going to open up the documentation for this. So today we're going to do a, let me see, checklist dark. That's probably the one I want. I'm not quite sure, but let's have a look at this here. There we go. So battery 1, battery 2, generator, and then the DC ground power unit, and Rad-Alt 1, 2, and FMS 1 and 2 and lab test. Okay, so I think I can remember that. Let me look up here again. So battery 1, battery 2, ground power unit on, and I reach over here and I can do the Rad-Alt 1, Rad-Alt 2, and let's just turn on the FMS 1 and 2. I could do the test. I don't think I need to do that. And let me look back down here again, and we've got 1 and 2 lamp test. So generator 1 and 2 and the emergency generator. So I can turn on the emergency generator, generator 1 and generator 2, like that. All right. These are filters here. They can go the way they are, normal. And that's good. And if I look down here, I've got the multifunction display. Check, match. I'm not going to worry about the heading versus standby compass. That's this compass right here, and you look at that and you look at your heading and make sure they're kind of the same. It's like a compass swing on an aircraft. Lamp test, I don't need to do that, although maybe I could. So if I look up here, I can just do a quick lamp test. And my I'll just turn that off. Everything seems to be fine. I don't need to fart with that. This is swinging all the way around. I've got the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 on right now, but it seems to be, my head seems to be flying all over the place. So let's see if that'll settle down after. Let me just acknowledge these messages very quickly. And my lighting panel, I can, it's all as required. So cockpit lighting as required. I don't need that right now. Floats are off, wipers as required. And then the train avoidance warning system is on. Weather radar on. MFD check. MFD's good. Overhead panel, auxiliary pump on. That's the aux pump. Terminals kind of. Okay, I think we're good here. And I don't. Let me see if I got any crew here. Do I have any crew? Let me see. Yeah, I got guys in the back here that are. I've got this guy that's always on his tablet. I'm not sure what he's about, but that's the crew. And I've got my crew weight. Let me see if I can change any of these here. I need to put in some weight here for these payload dudes. So I'll put in 330 kilograms of human flesh in the back. And my fuel load, that should be fine. Yeah, I should be able to get to where I'm going with that. So let me see. And I need to get my pedals going here. So I'm going to look down for a second. I apologize, but you're going to see some crazy stuff going on with the Tobii Eye Tracker here. As I look down and get my pedals sorted out, make sure that they're active and working and everything else. So let's get ourselves back in the seat here. There we go. Like that, and see my pedals. Oh yeah. And my stick. My cyclic's working and my collective is working, so that's good. It's all good until someone loses an eye, right? So let me go back here and I didn't want to do that, but let's go back in here again. And dark 2, I think I can start an engine. I think I hit the wrong button. And start engine, so we can do that. Select, I want to put engine 1 and 2 on idle, and then check my settings on my multifunction display. Make sure my torque is increasing, make sure my N1 is increasing for the engines, and rotor spinning N1 at 25%. So let's just start engine 1 here. If I reach down here, I can put that in idle mode. There we go, and you can see that engine 1 spinning away. Go back down here again. All right, I'm just going to watch my my torque going up. There's my rotor speed here, 33, 34. So I can see my N1 going up to 50%. Engine 1 idle startup, which is good. Now my torque's picking up here, and I can start engine 2 right now. Put that on idle as well. That's good. Both engines running. I think we're good. Inboard. We start, check monitor, idle 1, 2. Da, 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 da. So when I look down here, I want to make sure that I'm going to turn on maps here. And I'll just turn maps on here for the fun of it. And I want to, my floats are off, which is fine. I am going over water, so maybe I want to put my floats on auto, like that, so they're armed on auto. Wipers, don't need them. I want to mute my train avoidance warning system. I don't want it to keep telling me stuff. And my collision avoidance warning system, I'll leave that on. Now my auto trim is automatically on, and autopilot 1 and 2 on. Landing gear is currently down. And I think I'm good there. I'm not going to worry about my lighting right now. I just want to fly this aircraft. So today we're going to go on a pretty cool flight. I'm wondering if I can bring this up on my screen. So here we've got flight control replay, and here we've got the Navigraph charts. So it's loading the charts up here, as you can see. And I'll get rid of those in a second because I actually have a tablet that I use. So there we are. That's the Navigraph charts, and that's I'm going to unload this here because I'm not in Papua New Guinea right now, and I'm in this region here, and there we go. I'm in the Caribbean islands here. So we're going to fly. It's Point Pitre. So we're going to fly from this location here at the TFFR, and we're going to fly all the way to where they shoot the movie Death in Paradise, the series on Britbox called Death in Paradise. So I went and found out where they shoot this movie, if I could pronounce this properly, right? Deschades or Deschades probably here. This is the area here. I'm just going to fly to this area here. So I can turn this off because I have the maps running on a tablet sticking right in front of me, so I don't need to have the maps there. And I could probably I could probably have the maps running here on this tablet as well. So let's just bring up the maps here and see if it sees where I am. There we go. And it might coordinate this with my Navigraph. I'm not absolutely sure. Yeah, we're right there. We got to just fly over water a bit and get to where we're going to go. So I'm just going to leave that up for a second. Yeah, because we're going to fly right up to here, right around there. So I don't really need to load the flight plan like I'm saying, because I have a separate tablet running on my desk here with the flight plan. So not concerned. So now I can go up here and I can turn my engines on flight. And with the Tobii eye tracker, it watches your eyeballs and everything. So I want to turn off the DC ground power unit and get rid of that. Don't need that. Leave my generators and batteries on, or leave my emergency generator on. Everything here seems to be good. I'm in flight mode. There we go. Now I can just take off and hover here. So I'll just hit this right up here, and this puts me, these are my flight fill floats, so that right here allows me to energize the autopilot here, and I can do an auto hover. So let's just take off and see if we can do that. I would like a pair of legs though when I'm flying, right? So I think in my configurations and setups, these are my failures, my maintenance, all that seems to be good. And go back here, and I think my setup would give me crew and payload, and yeah, let's give me a co-pilot, and I'm going to give myself a pair of legs. Oh yeah. And this is the equipment I have in the H-160 aircraft. I don't think I need any more equipment than what it has already. So we're going to go back and then hit the maps again, so I know where I am. There we go. And I'm going to reset here, because I'm sitting back a little further, and have a look at my co-pilot, and there she is. She's a brilliant, oh, it's International Women's Day yesterday, so I've known a couple of female pilots in my life, and they're always extremely competent. So one of them I worked with only in the past 2 years, who was a Snowbird pilot, and she was amazing. So first commander of the Snowbirds. I won't mention her name right now, but just what an amazing person. So female pilots are very good. Just letting you know, they don't seem to have the ego that the guys do. So what's the difference between God and a pilot? A little joke for you here. God is not a pilot. I love that joke. So I'm going to put this in auto hover mode. So let me get back into my autopilot here for a second, and let's get this aircraft in the air. I don't think I've got an issue right here. Let me see everything. Each toss, I'll acknowledge that. Don't need to worry about that. Everything's green. Torques are good. Rotor speed's 101. N185. We're good to go. Oil levels good. My weight's good here. My crew, well, I got 155 kilograms for the crew, but what the heck, that's good enough. I put more weight for the back end guys. And my fuel consumption, I've got 3 hours and 58 minutes of fuel, so I think we're good. So let me just see if I can take off here nicely, and just make sure my pedals are working perfectly, right? All right, let's put this aircraft into the air here. I need to give it a little bit of pedal on takeoff here, and I'm going to go into hover mode here. And there we go. I got height hover on hold here, so as you can see. And now I'm just going to step out of the aircraft to have a look at the aircraft for a second. There we go. And there's the aircraft. What a beautiful, beautiful H-160 Airbus helicopter. And this aircraft is modeled by High Performance Group. And I know I can reach down without looking and press a button for my landing gear to go up. So there we go. And this aircraft, I'm told by my friends that are pilots and have flown these aircraft before, that the stability is just crazy good on this. So the engineering on this aircraft is amazing. So there we go. That's the aircraft. I could zoom in a little bit on this so we can enjoy the look of this aircraft here. And let's just look around and go up a bit. And there it is there. There I am sitting down and ready to fly off. We just need to jump back in the seat here. And there we go. And I think I'm just going to... Doesn't like the fact that my landing gear are up because my altitude is so low. So we're going to take it off. This, I've got it on height hold though right now, so I want to just take that off too. And if I can, I'll tuck in the tablet and let's get going. And it'll stop complaining about my landing gear as soon as I get to the right altitude. So I'm not going to bother taxiing to the runway. I'm just going to take off here and let's have a look. And you guys can guess where I am. Remember, the show is called Death in Paradise, if you're wondering. And I'm flying to the location of the show. So these are a link of islands in the Caribbean. And here my my speed is around 120, almost 130 right now. And so I just want to cruise at around 140 would be nice, I think, to get there sooner. And you can see my altitude bumping up. If I look in here, there's my altitude right there. And I'm climbing right now and everything is fine. So then there's a village over here I can look around, and it's a beautiful modeling of these areas here. And modeling of the water is incredible here. So it's... Then we got a stream down below. I don't think I've got much wind today, which is fine. So if you want to go actually visit the very small location that they shoot the show Death in Paradise, and then you can follow my flight, and I'll put some information in there that you can see later, so you can visit here someday. I'm imagining that the crime rate in these areas, this area here, is pretty low. I'm just thinking of that. I'm not sure. I also don't know what the level of poverty would be for this area, so I might be just be guessing too much. So I think this flight's not going to take a long time, but I'm looking around here and straighten the aircraft out a bit here, and I can look out the window. Yeah, it's a beautiful area. Yeah, so my wife and I have been watching this show for quite a while now, and we really enjoy it. They've got season 13 online right now, and it's pretty impressive. Let me look at my maps for a second. Just see where I am here. So I'm tracking the aircraft now, and let me zoom in a bit. That's me right there. So I think I'll get a little bit more airspeed here. I think this aircraft, it's notched to go, I think, around 140. So, but I think it'll do 160. So when you're flying a helicopter, just think of this. Okay, your blades are spinning. One blade on one side, let's say on the left-hand side, is spinning into the air. And then this blade, as it goes around to the right-hand side, is spinning away from the air. So the blade spinning away from the air is likely giving you almost no lift when you're going really fast. And I think it's called gyroscopic precession when you're flying. And actually when I tilt my rotor head forward, it's 90 degrees is the action from the tilt forward. So, and under gyroscopic precession. So when you look at the blades of an aircraft going forward, they always look like they're tilted wrong, and that's because they're tilting 90 degrees off from where the reaction is, so, which is gyroscopic precession, I believe. Anyway, folks out there can criticize and comment on me and say, yeah, JD, you're right, you're wrong, and all that wonderful stuff. So I'm gonna go fly by the shore line here, and that way I can come around and avoid the mountains, which is probably a smart thing to do, right? And again, the Tobii eye tracker is a brilliant product. And I want to fly below the clouds here, so I don't, so I can get a good visual on this area of in the Caribbean. And you can see where I am on my map. This is a wonderful thing. I can zoom in on the map a bit too. Let's just do that. It's funny in the Tobii, with the Tobii eye tracker, if I just stare at something on the aircraft and the avionics, it'll stay steady, but if I move my head around too much, it'll float around. So when I want to go to the center here and look down, I just move my head like if you're seeing in the camera, and I look down, or go over like this, and I think I'll actually hit my head on the window, on the windscreen. So I don't want to do that, and I'm going to watch my altitude. I'm dipping down a bit. and I've got my airspeed up pretty high. But so hopefully you're not getting dizzy watching me move around, but there we are there. Yeah, what's pretty incredible is the color of the water in the Caribbean. So I've been to Punta Cana and I've been to Cuba, and just gorgeous water. But you got to watch that you don't have coral, like you don't nick yourself with coral, because coral is alive, and I got nicked in the leg once snorkeling in Cuba, and that scar, the coral scar, lasted 2 months, 3 months, just wouldn't go away. And this, somebody can also comment on that, but I think it's because it's alive. So there we are. I might try to automatically land this aircraft and see if the auto floats work. I did that in one of my other flights, and of course it crashed because I wasn't coming down slow enough, I think. So I'm going to try this time. But once I get to my location where this show is shot, so I can just sort of steer towards it more now. So flying at 140 knots is probably more appropriate, right? So, but again, Tobii eye tracker, I can sit up like this and look down and look around, and just like you do flying a real aircraft. This is a simulation for anybody out there. It's a pretty high-end simulator. It's not a full motion class 5 or 6 simulator, but it's a pretty high-end simulator. So from a buttonology perspective, everything operates. From a responsiveness perspective, it feels like an aircraft. I'm pretty proud. I flew the C-27J simulator in Italy once and successfully landed it, and folks were saying, I was traveling with another gentleman named Greg, and he was saying that it was just like the aircraft. So no difference. The only difference is really the stress when you're flying. So when you're in a simulator and you're sitting down, you know that if you screw up significantly, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to screw up. so it's not as bad. So here we're getting close to where my destination is. I think it's in this bay right here, so I'm just going to slow down a bit and pull back pull back on my throttle here and just see if I can slow down quickly and make sure I don't drop altitude and cause any problems here. It's a beautiful horizon here. I don't know if you can see it, but so I'm trying to, so you can see my feet, and I'm trying to put it a little bit of a left rudder here, but obviously it's not going to work when you're traveling at 120 knots. You'll get a little bit of rudder control, but not a lot. So we're getting pretty close to the destination. Straight ahead over this little knoll in the mountain. So I'm just going to drop down. I have no issue dropping down at speed, but if you try doing this when you're hovering, then you're going to get yourself in trouble. So the terrain avoidance system is saying terrain. So I'm dropping down pretty quickly here, and I want to just take throttle down and then pull my nose up a bit and just bleed off some speed, because I'm pretty much where I need to be. And I'm listening to my warnings here, because it will tell me if I'm dropping my speed too fast. Pulling around 80 knots right now, and I just need to going to re-establish myself here. I can bleed off some speed too by just turning the aircraft. That'll work. Alright, there you are. And now it's telling me to check power. It doesn't like the fact that I'm coming down so fast, right? So I'm just watching my, yeah, just keep an eye on my throttle here, because you can get in a situation pretty quickly if you're kind of taking your aircraft in reverse or backwards, and get in a situation where you can crash. So I'm just going to concentrate now and maybe talk less. There's a gentleman who wrote me and said, you know, you need to talk a whole lot less and just fly. Okay. So there it is there. There's the town in front of me. So I'm just going to see if I can hover. Just lower the aircraft down slowly towards the ocean.
Check power.
No, watch it.
Check power.
No, watch it. Jeez.
Check power.
This aircraft's pretty touchy.
Check power. Vortex.
No, vortex is not good. I need to get
power.
this aircraft under control here.
Check power.
So if I dip my nose forward a bit,
Check power.
I might be able to recover from this check power situation.
Check power.
Alright, there we go. Man, that gets in a dangerous situation if you actually push down on your collective and you get into your aircraft is in reverse, flying backwards, right? And the tail is flying into the wind, I guess. It becomes a bad situation. So I'm going to see if I can get close here and then hover. But I'm still pretty high up here, so just control my speed. I'm coming in at 20 knots. It's very touchy. So if you have a good throttle and collective, so now it's telling me I should put my landing gear on, up, or down rather. I'm really keeping an eye on my power right now, so I may hit the auto hover in a second. There is the town anyway, as you can see, and this is the town where they shoot the show Death in Paradise. So let me just go into auto hover for a second here. So I'm on altitude hover right now, and this is so I don't have to worry too much. And let's just zoom in on the maps for a second, and this is where I am, so on the map. So if I look down like this, it's a beautiful day. There are the buildings, and this is where they shoot the show. So I think there's some hotels there that I would recognize. I think I can bump the aircraft forward and get a little closer to the buildings. So let's just do that. So this is beeping the aircraft. If I did this with my my mouse, I would just do this to beep it for a trim, and that's the collective, so I can go up and down. So if I want to go down more, and this here is the cyclic, and I can beep it forward with the cyclic and it'll go forward, or I can just push it forward a bit, and you can see it says hands on. That's an indicator telling the system that I'm actually using the cyclic now. So and you'll see me getting a bit of speed. If you look here, you'll see that arrow going up. That means I'm advancing. So, but it's maintaining the altitude or the height, right? So, and it's got two height control: radio altitude hold and barometric altitude hold. I find that the radio altitude hold is a little bit better on this aircraft. So there's the buildings. I'm going to go forward just a bit more and get close. I'm not sure if that little cafe that we see in the show is down here. It might be. That might be it. Actually, that's probably it right there in the front, that little cafe. So I'm just going to slow down a bit now. And I think I want to lower my altitude here. So I'm going to see if I can beep this down, the collective. And you'll see it lower here. So I'm setting, I'm still going forward a bit, which is good. And I'm lowering the aircraft here towards the water, going down a bit. Hover height. Now if I hit hover altitude, then I can also beep it down for an altitude. But I'll leave it on height, hold. When I get low enough, I'll put it on height, hold, so I don't hit the water. There we go. And again, you'll see it says hands on in yellow. And so this is just controlling the aircraft. I'm not sure what these pieces of stuff are that are floating in the water, but give it a little bit of pedal here, a little rudder. But I think that is the building right in the center there. That's a bar, I think, that's right on the water, the cafeteria. And I think that the police station is over there towards in that direction. So yeah. Anyway, this is where they shoot Death in Paradise. So I'm going to set the aircraft on the water, and let's just hope I don't crash. Okay, so just going to leave it and hover for a second so it can settle down, and then I'm just going to beep it down and pray, because it is on auto hover right now. So I'm going to go altitude down. If I look up the aircraft for just a second, this is what I'm looking at right now. So I'm just above the water. So I don't know if I can beep it down while I'm in this position, but seems like it's dropping right now just a bit. And the floats have been deployed, and then it's going to settle down into the water. And there we go. That's the aircraft sitting in the water with the deployed floats. If I jump back into the cockpit, you can see the floats there. So that was very successful. So there we go. That's it for today. I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. I'm calling myself the Flying Watchmaker because I do both these things as hobbies. And this is where they shoot the TV show Britbox, Death in Paradise. So thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you next time. Let's get out of the water here. Unstick myself, and I want to tuck the floats back in like that, and then let's just fly by here. Death in Paradise. Great show. Oh, there's a couple cars down there. All right, that's enough. That is enough. Again, thanks a lot. I'm JD. Thanks for watching my channel. I think we'll be repairing a few watches later on today. First, I must go to the gym and work out, or my wife will be mad.